welcome back everyone to exciting game 3 between Shadow Keepers and Rampage. The first two games here, lots of action, and game 3 should be more the same, and Rampage up right now 2-0, so Shadow Keepers finding themselves with their backs to the wall. I'm Random Minion Caster, and rejoining me for game 3 here is Adorit Luna. So Luna, how have you been enjoying the series thus far?
Man, last game was crazy. I'm excited for this game. I'm curious if we're going to get a reverse sweep or if we're just going to go 4-1 or if Rampage is just going to get clean 3-0.
Yeah, I would definitely love to see a full game 5 here, whichever side ends up taking the win. But that being said, we'll have to see because Shadowkeeper so far looking a bit outclassed in game 1 and game 2, and their picks and bans have been completed here for game 3. So we'll just hop right into it here. Shadowkeeper is going to forfeit both their bans in the first phase of their bans here. So they're going to end up with a Urgot Rumble, and that's a Jarvan for the ban there, the last one. They again having technical difficulties. So that is a Jarvan 4, not a Prestige Aatrox, not a Xin Zhao. And in terms of Rampage's bans here, we're going to see a Vi, Yasuo, Maokai, Nasus, and Gangplank. So identical bans to game 2 here. Now in terms of picks, bit of a change for Shadowkeepers. We still see the Thresh, we see Caitlyn, Talia, Orianna, and Renekton here. So keeping elements of game 1 and game 2. Rampage, very different draft for themselves here. They do finally get their hands on that Misfortune, which was banned out games 1 and 2. They're going with a Janna and a Teemo for themselves, as well as a Trundle and Malphite. So Luna, can you make some sense out of this for me?
All right, I feel like the Teemo pick is just straight troll, but it's whatever. I'm a fan of Janna MF just because of the bonus damage that Janna can give to Misfortune. And Janna can help counter the Thresh by giving the passive movement speed to MF, which she already has because of Strut on her W, but giving her even more. And Janna can use her Q, the tornado, to counterbalance any kind of hard engage from the Thresh, like going in on a death sentence or trying to bring someone in with the lantern. Um, I'm assuming that's Renekton jungle again. I don't know if that's going to be Orianna top or mid, and then Talia going the other lane. That's just kind of weird to me. I mean, it's a lot of burst, but uh, that's just a weird comp. And then I mean, Rawr, like, while they still have more of a troll comp, they still have like they have the wombo with Malphite ult, the unstoppable force into a bullet time. Trundle can slow people, just steal stats, and just smack people around. Teemo blinds and the mushrooms, slowing people. The one thing I don't like about the Jada with this comp is her monsoon can knock people out of bullet time on accident if she's not careful. So we'll have to see if Richter can use his monsoons well enough to not disrupt his own team's team fight potential.
Definitely, and we did see Ari, Lutz, and Rukter. They had lane dominance in game 1 and game 2, so the Ari, the Janna Misfortune combination in that bot lane going to give them a lot of damage there. And as you said, the troll team for Rampage, they do have the Troll King with them, so not terribly surprising to see them do something like this. On the side of Shadow Keepers, though, most likely, yeah, TikTok Fame is probably going to play that Renekton in the jungle. And that Teemo pick might have been to deny it from Rinks. Their top laner here has shown proficiency in primarily 3 champions, Maokai, Orianna, and Teemo. We did see the Maokai ban come out, the Teemo pick come out, might have been what's forcing Rinks on to the Orianna. Had mixed success with the Poppy in game 1 and the Poppy in game 2 and Mundo in game 1, so could very well just be that, and I expect we'll see Alpals on the Talia in the mid lane. Has done really well for himself, especially against some of the best mid laners in the league. And all that being said, they are loading now on the Rift here, onto Summoner's Rift, so we'll have to see really what they end up doing here. And do you think we're going to see any level 1 shenanigans? I mean, Shadowkeeper's back is to a wall here.
Um, I mean, it's possible they do have Renekton fresh. And I mean, they have the burst, but I mean, I don't know. It's really sketch.
Yeah, they do have the Thresh Death Sentence at level 1. There isn't a lot of hard CC on the side of Rawr Rampage, but look like both teams are just going to set up really conservatively here. No attempted invades, no deep vision going down on either side. We do see the built over Peacemaker coming across, trying to see if they can get some damage, but it looks like won't be able to find any targets. Instead, Rookter going to be the one getting himself some early gold here, while Finny is going to eat a whole bunch of rock shards to the face.
Yeah, Finny's just like, hey, I like to eat rocks, I guess. Cause man, that's one thing that kind of terrifies me about Talia level 1 is that those shards can do so much damage that a lot of people underestimate them, I feel like.
Yeah, Finny losing about 20 to 25% of his health right away there. It looks like they are going to go on the lane swap again. So that's going to be a Teemo top for Finny. And Deity going to take that Malphite mid. So potentially going to see the AP Malphite come out. Lots of rocks in that mid lane there.
Yeah, that's kind of... Yeah. If we were talking like lore-wise, I don't know if that would be a matchup I want to take since, you know, Talia can kind of control the earth. So I don't know there. But something that you was pointing out was that Rampage might have took the Teemo to deny it from Rinks, but Shadowkeepers picked the Talia before Finny picked the Teemo, so they could have grabbed Teemo for Rinks, and they chose not to.
Yeah, definitely valid point there. They did opt to give the Talia over instead, but to be fair, Alpels has been first picked the entire series thus far, so I guess they continue their faith in having the Talia blind pick while they weren't confident of the top lane pick. And besides, who picks Teemo right now in the league besides Rinks?
Well, as this game shows, apparently Finny.
Yep, and we'll have to see if Finny can indeed perform on that Teemo, which is big. I don't think we've ever seen him before. But bot lane, we do see the damage coming out of Ahri Lutz and Rookter. That's why they had to ban it early. And in the mid lane, we see a fight break out of skirmish here. TikTok Famous getting aggressive as he has been all game. And surprise, surprise, of course, the aggression happens in the mid lane.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm really surprised by this lane swap because I'm not sure that Orianna would be a better matchup than Talia would for Teemo. Just because the Orianna is able to toss the ball a lot more safely than what Talia has to get in range for with like her Q and her other abilities.
Yeah, but so far a much better early game despite that possible mismatch. In fact, we're seeing the damage come down in that top lane there. Rinks getting the better of the trade. Finny has to be careful. Both the top laners here taking teleport, so we won't see an ignite kill coming out. This mid lane, a bunch of damage coming out, and there is an ignite there. The flash coming out, the slice and dice. That's going to be first blood again going to TikTok Famous in the mid lane.
Yeah, TikTok, he's definitely showing a lot of aggression on that Renekton.
Yeah, and as we did say in last game, he needs to get the aggression early. Renekton has some good ganks, but top lane, Finny potentially going down. The trade of flashes, but the last auto will be enough to take him down, and that will be 2 kills now for Shadowkeepers.
Yeah, that just kind of helps to prove what I was saying. It's like, Orianna is just like, I don't know that Teemo can win either of those very well. That was a great hook.
Yeah, good death sentence onto Rookter. Rookter positioning such that he doesn't get hit by the follow-up trap. The shoot is good and he will be able to walk out safely there, but did take quite a bit of burst damage. He has to be careful. If he gets hit by another death sentence, he might not be able to get out.
That's right. Well, possibly. He does still have his flash up, so he still has a little bit of a safety net. But, I don't know.
Have to keep an eye on this bot right here. We did see TikTok Famous aggressively going into the enemy jungle there. There wasn't really much to steal though, so Proven Wrong not going to lose out on much. And the poke continues to come down in that bot lane. A bit surprising considering that Caitlyn has the longer range here, but it's going to be Ahri Lutz on that Misfortune who's actually going to get more damage traded in and going to be controlling that lane a little better for themselves. But a much more even laning phase for both teams here. Ironically, it's going to be the solo lanes. Again, Rampage winning out in those solo lanes here, despite having died in both the solo lanes.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see which lane is going to be able to come out on top this time. Shadowkeeper is definitely having more of an edge right this second in the solo lanes.
Yeah, we'll have to see, and our eyes will have to be tracking TikTok Famous here, as he's been where most of the action has been early game in 1 and 2. He takes the blast cone over. There is a ward there, so Finny will see him, but it doesn't matter. And instead, we're gonna get the unstoppable force in that mid lane. Deity hitting 6 first. Can he finish it? Doesn't have his Q available. Will not be able to finish off Alpels there, and he doesn't have Ignite. He's opting for the teleport again, so Alpels will be able to survive just barely into that mid lane, but that does mean that he's going to get the shove, get the push into that mid lane, and potentially get a plate for himself as well.
Yeah, that was very good attempt by Deity. But yeah, like I said, either his Q was still on cooldown, or he might not have had enough mana for it at the time. And well, it looks like Colonel's just doing Colonel things and got themselves a free dragon solo.
Yeah, prove him wrong, not having much of an influence on the lane, on any of the lanes thus far, but definitely a good move getting an early dragon for his team solo here at about just under 7 minutes, and it's going to be the Mountain Drake again, and Alpal is now running into the mid lane using the Weaver's Wall. Will be able to pick up Deity there. He was kind of low, gets caught by TikTok Famous, and prove him wrong was right there, literally right next to Alpals when he hopped off the wall. But will not be able to contribute much once they get the CS. Instead, it's going to be a roam up from the bot lane. Rookter and Ari Ludes running up from the bot lane there. Won't be able to find much. Will just walk up, say hi, and run back down to the bot lane.
Yeah, those an interesting run by the bot lane for Rampage. I mean, I guess if they were able to catch anything there, then good on them. But I don't know. I feel like it was just a little too late, unfortunately.
Yeah, but they at least they didn't lose much at all, as they did manage to force Louisville Gent to back off, and the waves were in balanced state in the bot lane, so they ultimately won't lose much. They do have to be careful though. Louisville coming back to lane with the BF sword, with the boots there, will be able to run Ari Ludes down potentially, but Ari Ludes looking like she's gonna back out as well and have her first purchase of the game. She does have about 400 gold lead, so not huge, probably just a component part lead there onto Louisville Gent.
Right, but I mean, like you said, since Ari Ludes hasn't purchased anything yet, like now they have boots as well. And again, you know, the W on MF, the strut, that extra movement speed is substantial, even without Janna being there. When Janna is there, just walk towards Janna and you get even more movement speed. You can dodge skill shots for days.
Yeah, basically almost having tier 2 boot speed completed there in that bot lane effectively. And we do once again see the Dark Seal coming out for Rookter once more. Now in game 1, Rookter managed to get himself quite a few stacks before going down from assist. We'll have to see if that's going to happen again. Top lane though, Rinks almost taking Finny down. Finny barely surviving, less than 10 health there. Anything could have taken him down. A minion, another auto, anything at all, but does manage to jump himself to safety. Hop skipping his way away, and TikTok Fame is not going to be able to find him. Instead, prove him wrong, running to that top lane. And TikTok Fame is going to tank up the turret bunch there. The Fury of the Sand not going to be able to keep him alive against Prove Him Wrong and the consume that he's putting out, and we'll be able to force the flash out of Rings as well. So once again, starting to see that over aggression and turret diving from TikTok Famous.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why I really like the Trundle pick, was because they saw how aggressive TikTok Famous was on the Renekton. So if he does happen to get really far ahead, like at one point in the previous game, he was 5-0 on Renekton. So in this game, if he tries to do the same thing, all of a sudden you have a Trundle waiting in line just to steal your stats. And it's just like, you might be doing well for yourself, but you're also essentially buffing Trundle at the same time.
Definitely a good adaptation here. And speaking of adaptation, in that bot lane, we did see Non-Stop Brain faking the Lantern there, and it seems to be effective. They remember game 2 and the off-screen Renekton ganks. They're now paranoid from those lanterns. And we do see, speaking of the Renekton, TikTok Famous invading once again, getting vision down onto Proven Wrong's jungle here. He definitely wants to make sure he is able to spot him out. Will have a clear gank avenue into that bot lane here.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see if he's able to get another clutch lantern play off the Thresh here.
It looks like the lantern's down. The play is good, but a beautiful tornado there to stop the engage, and they will be able to stop the gank from TikTok Famous. Really well played. It's a deity in the mid lane now. Going to take a bunch of Poki. Looks like he's not going to go the AP Malphite. Building a bit tankier here. Has Bami Cinder, but the dive from TikTok Famous, he doesn't care. Gets between turrets, gets the kill onto Rookter there. The Monsoon was not used. All these summoners are available as well, and instead we do see Deity potentially going to go down. Uses Flash and Unstoppable Force to get himself to safety. The Ignite will not be enough to take him down, and now Finny having to burn his Flash as well to get out. He has a lot of damage, but it will not be enough. The Conquerors and the Cleave there from TikTok Fame is going to keep him alive. So that's 2 down for the side of Rawr. Rampage, Proven Wrong, did manage to pick up the Herald and drops the mid lane turret. So even though they're losing in terms of kills, in terms of pressure, they are going to get first turret for themselves, Rawr Rampage.
Yeah, that was really good play by Shadowkeepers. Again, TikTok Fame is just putting in tons of work for his team on that Renekton. I mean, the dive on the Janna, like, now I will give Rooker this. That was a beautiful Howling Gale to stop that initial Lantern in by the Thresh. That was so gorgeous. But unfortunately, Renekton was just too big already. He's just like, hi, Janna. You're looking like a snack.
Yeah, and did say Renekton able to cleave right through the shields there, so Rooker's shield not able to keep him alive. They're going for this dragon, the Ocean Breaker. Attempted steal from Non-Stop Brain with the Death Sentence. Won't be able to pick it up, so it's 2 dragons over to the side of Rampage, but it's still a much closer game at this point. 5-1 is the kill score right now, but with the first turret, the gold difference is only about 400 gold apart at this point in time.
Yeah, and that 400 gold, surprisingly, is on the side of Rampage.
Yeah, they are up a little bit. Top lane, we do see Finny down about 500, 600 gold there. He is having a really rough time against his Orianna, as you kind of predicted early. The jungle there, pretty even, only about 300 gold apart. Mid lane, about 400. Bot lane, about 200. So the gold spread very, very evenly across the team here. The lead's not really significant, but if they keep leaving Finny alone with Rings there, Rings might be able to get himself really fed in that top lane. The top lane Orianna pick working out surprisingly.
That's possible, but Teemo is one of those champs to where if you just kind of forget about him at a certain point, out of nowhere he becomes kind of a thing. Just like dropping shrooms everywhere, and all of a sudden you're just like, ow, there's a third of my health bar just gone because I couldn't see anything.
It's almost as if they heard you that they're not going to leave him alone. TikTok Famous is going to walk in there. A beautiful command shockwave will provide the burst, and that's going to be another kill going over to the side of TikTok Famous. And we do see Deity teleporting in as well. The Unstoppable Force is available, but he doesn't even need to use it yet. He is getting really good damage down. Non-Stop Brain getting chunked for half his health, just being traded in that bot lane there. And the Weaver's Wall from Alpels means that he's turned it into a 3v2. The knock-up is good. Rookter going to take a ton of damage, and Louisville, built over Peacemaker, will be able to take him down. So the Darksteel, unfortunately, not gonna be able to get any stacks for himself.
Yeah, it's that's definitely a yikes. And his Monsoon was already down, so he wasn't able to try to top himself off in any way and knock that push off from them.
So we're going to see Proven Wrong having to flash out in the mid lane there after that good fight in the bot lane. Non-stop Brain and Alpel is rotating in, potentially clipping him in. Louisville is on the other side. They're going to try and see what they can do to lock him down. That's a 4-man collapse now onto Proven Wrong. But he's turned on to Non-stop Brain. He has the damage there, but will not be enough. The CC is good. Non-stop Brain going to be the beneficiary of that, picking up the kill onto Proven Wrong there.
Yeah, it was a good attempt at an escape by Proven Wrong. Although, honestly, I don't like the play from Shadowkeepers to send 4 people to chase. It just didn't need to happen. You could have just been just fine with sending 2, maybe 3. Beautiful ult.
Good unstoppable force there will keep Rinks undeterred. Unfortunately, the minions were still attacking at that point, so Rinks looking like he's going to be able to get away. Instead, Finny is going to be the one going down in that mid lane there, taking a ton of damage. And TikTok Famous putting the burst out. He's going his damage mode again. In top lane, Rinks turns around on Deity. Deity managed to get him initially undeterred, but the damage from that unattended Rinks is doing work, and that's going to be 3 stacks on Rinks' Dark Seal there. So in terms of Dark Seal, Shadowkeeper is winning out right now.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on right now. Rampage definitely falling much farther behind than the previous 2 games.
Yeah, Shadowkeeper's definitely managing to turn things around here. They're up 10-1 in the kill score right now. That's absolutely massive, and I do believe that might be the biggest deficit Rampage has found themselves in all season thus far, and they're up about 2,500 gold, the biggest lead that Shadowkeepers has managed to find for themselves this series. So definitely really happy to see Shadowkeepers turning this around. We might potentially see the beginnings of a 5 game here.
It's very possible. But, I mean, again, we have seen Rampage have some rough early games and then swing it in the mid game really easily. Because, I mean, while they are behind in kills, they do have a lot of objectives taken. They have 2 outer turrets taken.
But
oh
yeah,
no.
That's not how they come back in the mid game, unfortunately here. Pruvamon walking right into a very angry Crocodile. Gets insta-bursted there, and that means that their jungler is going to be down when this will not be available for that next Drake. And the bot lane now potentially getting caught out. A beautiful Monsoon to stop the engage, but there is a death sentence coming down. Non-stop brain opting not to follow up there, so Rooker won't be able to survive. And that's the flash down from Ari Luz as well. Finny going to take a bunch of rocks to the face once again. We saw this before any minion spawn. We're seeing it again, and that means Infernal coming up in 5 seconds, while Shadowkeeper is going to have full control over that bot lane as they pick up their 2nd turret of the game in the bot lane.
Yeah, and they also have Dragon Prayer, like you were stating, so, I mean, and at this point, Shadowkeepers haven't gotten any dragon, so, depending on how the game goes, they have the option of the rare 4 Infernal Soul.
Yeah, that would be very nice for them. TikTok Famous liking this damage. A beautiful command shockwave stopping the flash from Deity there, but the unstoppable force will be able to get himself up to safety. They do lose a ton of pressure everywhere, and they do prove him wrong now, running straight to that Herald. Doesn't want to give up an objective without a trade. Prove him wrong, going really objective focus, playing PvE while everybody else is playing PvP.
Right, and like at this point, that definitely will be one of the ways that will help Rampage get back into this game. Also, like they just need to try to stop fighting Renekton if they can. Like I get Renekton is one of the hardest champs to peel off of people, but I mean you got to do what you got to do when you can. And right now, fighting Renekton is something that they can't do. Renekton is just too big for them.
Yeah, Renekton, the most fed person in the game right now, just under 8,000 gold, richest person on in the team right now. And then you got Rinks following up close to 6,500 here on his team. Only person with more gold on the side of Rampage is of course that PvE farmer. Prove them wrong for themselves. So they've got a tidy lead for themselves on their carries here. For the first time, I believe, this series, Louisville Gent is actually just a little bit ahead of Ari Luz as well. So definitely Rampage is going to need to figure out some way to get back into the game. And if you are Rampage at this point, 11-1, how is it that you find your way back into the game here? You
know? Right now, it's actually it's easy to say, but not so easy to pull off. You just hit the wombo. You get the unstoppable force and get a perfect full time against across 3 people. You get Ari Luz a nice triple kill, put some gold in her pocket, make her do all the damage that we saw her do in games 1 and 2.
And we see yet another collapse there. And the precursor, the condition required to get that wombo combo, both of them need to be there. Instead, we see both of them separated here, and Ari Luz gonna go down to Rinks in the 1v2 as Rinks picks up both Ari Luz and Rukter there. That's very unfortunate. Proven wrong going down in that top lane to a 4-man gank as well. And Deity having to burn the Unstoppable Force. So now the Unstoppable Force not available. They won't be able to pull that wombo combo off that you were talking about till Deity comes back up. Finny now opting to just split push that bot lane. That's a Teemo. Not going to be able to do much in the team fight. So is this a compositional issue maybe then? That the fact that they can't get the wombo combo off because both Trundle and Teemo want split push?
I don't think so necessarily. I don't know. It might just been on the communication side of things. Something that I don't like that I just saw was you had both Talia and Renekton going through the top side jungle of Rampage when they just could have took that tier 1 turret.
So we do see the bullet time coming across the pillar, going to hold non-stop brain, in place. So that's going to be 2 ultimates to take down the support. Maybe not the ideal trade, but at least it's a start.
Maybe not. But again, like, Rookter does have the Dark Seal, so I mean, more stacks, it's more AP, more heals from Janna, better shields. The more AP Janna has, the better AD scaling when she drops a shield on top of someone. So, I don't know, there's pros and cons to it.
Yeah, and like I said, at least it's a start there. So that's going to be 2 stacks on the Dark Seal for Rookter. If he can manage to stay alive in fights, he might be able to continue increasing the stacks there. We see pings coming down on the Dragon Pit, but Dragon will not be spawning for at least a minute here. They're just trying to potentially get a pick here. Baron is available, and Rookter baiting with his body there. Will tease TikTok out of the bush, but TikTok will not be able to land the Slice and Dice, will not have the stun to follow up as well. And it looks like both teams now opting to set up for the Baron, the Dragon that's coming up in 45 seconds rather than looking at Baron. There's absolutely no vision on the Baron side there for either team. At the Dragon Pit, we do see some vision down for the side of Shadowkeepers. Rampage not having any vision past the river, but they're going to chase right now, see what they can get. And TikTok is now going to be the one playing 2v in the mid lane.
Yeah, it was definitely a very sketchy chase. Like I said, they didn't have any vision on the other side, so aside from the fact that they saw TikTok on that turret, they didn't know where anyone else was. So that could have been devastating for Rampage.
Yeah, and a good deterring Weaver's wall there from Pals will keep Rampage from closing in onto TikTok Famous. So as you said, was spotted in that mid lane on his own, so the entire team decides to try and collapse on him. Instead, they will not be able to chase him, and it's potential 5v5 shaping up here in the river. We see a crap ton of Easter eggs here in the bushes. It's basically an entire mushroom farm or Easter egg farm being set up here. Non-stop Brain going to try and clear it with the trinket, but filling that with his body. Will be able to clear some out, and that's all of them cleared out now. But Inferno has decided to target non-stop Brain there. When it rains, it pours everything going on to non-stop Brain. And both teams going to continue this this stalemate here at the Dragon.
Yeah, I think at some point non-stop tossed the hook at Dragon to try to get Dragon to aggro onto Rampage. But his team is closer, so Dragon's like, hey man, you guys started this. I'm gonna look at y'all first.
But he does manage to get the death sentence there onto Deity, but that's the tank, not the first amount of kill. Instead, it's going to be taken on the backline. Beautiful command, Shockwave catches 3. Ari Lute's already low on health, but will be able to safely get the bullet time in the background. They do pick up Deity, but it's traded over for TikTok Famous, and Finny going down as well. So good trade so far on the side of Shadowkeepers. They get a 2-for-1 started by that beautiful command Shockwave from Rings.
Yeah, that definitely was a beautiful Shockwave. And, like, it's hard to say who really won on that, because while more of Rampage died and Shadowkeepers did pick up the second Inferno Dragon for themselves, Ori Lutz did just get that shutdown gold off of TikTok Famous, so that could be pretty huge.
Yeah, definitely did help Ari Lutz to get back into the game a little bit. Now up over Louisville Gens by about 400 gold. Despite not having a bounty, Louisville Gens still carrying 150 gold bounty here. So as you pointed out, Shadowkeepers has to be careful in these fights right now. If they all go down, that's a combined 850 gold bounty, which could go over the way of Rampage if they were to lose a fight. And while that will not negate the entire 4k gold gap, it will certainly be a really good start for helping Rampage get back into the game. And with that, like you said, Inferno going over to Shadowkeepers. They've got 2 dragons now for themselves, and they're already up in the gold, so that will help give them a healthy boost in damage. Baron is the next possible thing on the table here. We do see vision coming down from both teams. Rookter in the area to try and set up more vision, potentially bringing stuff up. In mid lane, Daddy getting caught yet again. He is very tanky though, but as we saw in the last fight, he can be killed. It just takes a little bit of time.
Right. And I mean, at this point, it might be to where Deity just needs to look at himself as a sacrificial missile and just put himself in there just so Ari Lutz can hit that bullet time, because they had the right idea there. Like that, if Deity was able to hit more people without unstoppable force. Oh no.
Top lane there, Finny getting manhandled by TikTok Famous. Will the burn be enough? No, it will not. Finny just barely able to live. Good shoot from Rookter to keep him alive, but now Rookter is himself in trouble. Does manage to get the flash over the wall to safety. Does take the blast cone over, and it's going to be mid lane where another fight breaks out. We do see the wombo combo you're talking about. Louisville extremely low from the unstoppable and bullet time, but just not enough damage. Almost getting it instead. TikTok Famous once again in a bad spot here. Deity kept alive by yet another good shield from Rookter, who's keeping people alive left and right there. And after all that action, nobody going down.
Yeah, Rookter definitely playing out of his mind right now, keeping not only himself but everyone else alive. A very good flash by Alpals to keep himself alive, getting him out of the bullet time just in the nick of time.
Yeah, lots of summoners blown there, so that's going to be summoners for Alpals and Louisville down for the next fight. They had to blow their flashes. Flashes coming out of Rookter as well. So that's going to be 3 flashes down. Rookter going to have to position carefully in that next fight. Did use Monsoon really well to keep Ari Lutz alive in the back line there. And for both teams, where do they go from here? What are they looking at? Because it seems like both teams are a little lost right now.
Well, actually, if you're Rampage, right now, this is exactly what you want. Because right now, you're trying to catch back up in gold, you know, start hitting your item spikes. Whereas, Shadowkeepers, they feel like you said, they're just kind of lost. Like, there's a point that I pointed out earlier where they had Connected and Oriana just kind of warding the top part of the jungle.
Oh, and Louisville getting caught out. Was clearing a ward in the Baron pit when Rookter triggered the aggro. Was taken down to about 30% health, and then Deity finding him. The unstoppable force will pick him up, but now it's going to be Rookter who's going to try and survive here as TikTok Famous shows up and gets the revenge kill onto Deity there. Rookter will be able to get out with the speed boost provided there, and now it's going to be Baron potentially being started up on the side of Shadowkeepers. Proven Wrong is also alive though, so both junglers potentially could do this, but Proven Wrong on the wrong side of the map, still pushing that bot lane, so it's gonna fall to Finny, Ari Lutz, and Rookter to try and dissuade this Baron here. The tornadoes coming out will not be sufficient. Now Pels is zoning on the side right now for BG, and everybody's behind the pit. Yet another tornado coming out. The bullet time now is good. They get TikTok, they get nonstop. That's 2 down, and now Rinks going to be tanking up the Baron. He does not want to be doing that because it's going to be Ari picking up the kill once more. That's a 3-for-1, and Proven Wrong in that bot lane, hunting down Louisville will make it a 4-for-1, and now Alpals, can he survive? Looks like he can, but that's going to be Baron going over to Rampage. Bam Wham and thank you ma'am from Rawr Rampage as they get 4 kills and the Baron losing only Finny in the process. And Proven Wrong going to be the happiest jungle around. Did not have to smite fight that. Gets a free Baron, gets the free push, gets the inhibitor turret, and gets the inhibitor, and the rest of Rampage going to go for that Inferno Drake for themselves.
Yeah, and it's just like you're saying, you know, Shadowkeepers, they were looking lost. Somehow they lost themselves in transition from the mid game to the end game because they had a very commanding lead. Like they could have definitely like that tier 2 mid turret for Rampage. I feel like it shouldn't be even be up right now. I feel like Shadowkeepers at some point should have been able to get that, and they've just kind of been screwing around going for kills. Like, yeah, you have 18 kills, but I mean, who's got the down inhib? You know, kills do help get you to the end game, but at the end of the day, objectives is what wins you the game.
Yeah, definitely, as you pointed out, the objective of the game is to take down the Nexus at the end of the day, not to accrue the kills. And now Rampage going to find themselves up in cold for the first time in a while here in this game. They've got the Baron buff, and I mean, if you look at the kill score, 18-8, the players themselves might not be aware of it, but they are in the driver's seat now for the side of Rampage, and we have to see how they close up the game. Prove them wrong going after Louisville Gen, and he's actually really far ahead right now. Hunted down Louisville Gen. Nonstop Ray not able to do anything to try and keep his ranged partner alive. And we see the opposite here as the jungler for SK now going for the bot lane of Rampage, but they're having a much better time with a beautiful exhaust and Monsoon to keep Ari Ludes alive. And instead of getting the kill, they end up going down. Rings, however, able to find Finny there. It looks like in... Not quite sure where Finny ended up dying. Looks like it was in the mid lane as he's pushing up a turret. So it ends up trading 2 for 1 in favor of the side of Rampage. But the Undeterred continue to push the unstoppable force in the mid lane. Gonna get Alpels, and that's gonna be a clean kill there. The minions, the Baroned up minions are going to keep pushing. They will be able to get the inhibitor turret in the mid lane. They got the inner turret in the top lane as well. And now they're sieging up that inhibitor turret as well. And now prove them wrong. Walking in from that previously cracked open bot lane will potentially get the inhibitor. And Ari Lude just going to tank a crap ton of damage. Will go down to Rings, but Rings not going to be able to survive this. And prove them wrong. Just going to turn around and take the last chomp. Deity tank up the turret without a care in the world. That's all the inhibitor turrets down. All the inhibitors down as well. And now it looks like Deity is going to trade his life for that, trying to see if he can get out. Yes, no, he can't. But they will be able to trade TikTok famous over as well. And Nonstop Brain now getting caught out by Finny, who's getting a lot of damage with that Leandries and Nashes. Louisville seeking to try and get out. Will just be able to get to Fountain instead, and it's going to be Finny once more with the overchase. Going down, the man is 2-8-2.
Man, Finny really likes taking rocks to the face.
Apparently, and now look, they're going to eat some to the face as well. He manages to dodge everything out. The shield will keep him alive that much longer, but Louisville is going to ignore him, it looks like. It's going to be Alpals here. The Ignite, but Louisville gets the last auto there to take Rookter down, but a good delay there from Rookter will allow his team to begin respawning.
Man, right now, if I'm Alpals, I'm like, man, Louisville, you trolling me. I ignited him. I had him. Oh man, that feels horrible.
Well, I mean, that's what ADCs do. They just last hit minions there, so Rookter, the ranged minion, will end up going down. And Shadowkeeper's able to fend off that push just barely. They lose a lot of their base here. Everything cracked wide open. Their Nexus only having one turret left standing, and that turret is not even that terribly healthy right now, but they do manage to buy themselves a bit of time here. So we'll have to see if on the side of Shadowkeepers they can get back into the game. Or actually, I shouldn't really say that when they're not that far behind. Only about a 2k gold difference at 33 minutes. Not significant for either team.
Right, is realistically, that entire play was just Rampage getting back into control because they were very far behind. But unfortunately for Shadowkeepers, that clutch play by Rampage at Baron definitely set them up to really come back to this game. If you're Shadowkeepers right now, you're just looking to... I mean, if you ace Rampage right now, respawn timers are getting long. You just go for a hard push, ace him once more, and then you get the W.
Yeah, very true. Caitlyn, ADC at this point, has completed Infinity Edge, the rapid fire cannon as well, so we'll be able to do that. But looks like they'll have one last fight here. There is the death sentence going down Rookter, but he's not going to follow up, and instead he's going to take a lot of damage with a beautiful command shockwave. Gets through the bullet time uninterrupted in the back though, combined with that unstoppable force, that combination you've been talking about all game. Going to turn it around. That's a 4-4-0 right now. Everybody down but Louisville Gent, and that's going to be game for Rampage. They just turned it around, turned it on, and finished the game off right there. 34-30 going to be the game time on this game.
That's all it takes sometimes. Just one nasty combo, and all of a sudden you win the game. Or in this case, if your Shadowkeeper's on the bad side of a nasty combo, and oh, well, guys, what happened? Why is my screen black? Why does it say defeat? Hello?
Yeah, and Shadow Keepers, you really got a feel for them, man. Like you said, just one bad team fight there, and they were in the driver's seat for most of the game here. They were doing so well, and they had won this game. They'd have managed to extend the series, but instead, it's going to be a 3-0 sweep for Rawr Rampage. Congratulations to them. And you look at the score here. Game 3 was really, really, really close. Like Finney was behind almost the entire game. Ends the game 2-8-4 there on Teemo. I'm not sure that's a pick that would work. That's working as well for him as it has for Rinks in the past. And then even mid lane, we saw Deity actually down CS here, 168 to 174 of Alpels. It's just the team fight at the end of the game there. So unfortunate.
Yeah, like I said, there's the team fight at Baron Pit that went horribly for Shadowkeepers. There was that last team fight where Rampage finally hit that nasty Wombo combo. But I don't know. I feel like at some point Shadowkeepers, they just took their foot off the gas, and they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna start screwing around, start chasing for kills, and it's just like you're already far ahead. You don't need to chase for kills. Sure, you can get picks when they present themselves, but you don't need to go looking. You still have to get those turrets down so you can win the game.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, we do have our 2 finalists for the finals next week. It will be MG Blaze versus Rawr Rampage in the finals here. Both teams sweeping their opponents 3-0. And there will be a third place match as well between Shadowkeepers and 100 Weebs. So definitely things to look forward to next week here. And with this, we are done the best of 5s here for the semifinals. Semifinals are completed here for the Coalition League. So we look very much forward to seeing all of you next week for the finals. And from everyone here at Coalition League, thank you for tuning in. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys next week.